The man eats large amounts of high-calorie food every day, but strangely, his weight hasn't increased. Instead, he's getting slimmer. He now has clearly visible abs. Even his face has become more angular. Yet just a month ago, he was the most notorious overweight man in town. He was always worried about losing weight. In the morning, his wife would prepare a diet meal for him. But for John, who gains weight just by drinking cold water, this cup of vegetable juice was clearly ineffective. Yet he could never control his appetite. Even when going out for work, he'd make sure to have a big meal. Snacks were always within his reach. His wife was extremely frustrated with his lack of self-control. While they were arguing, an old lady suddenly crossed the street. John accidentally hit her. The old lady died on the spot despite attempts to save her. Back home, their daughter started to worry about her father. After all, this was no small matter. But John wasn't worried at all, because he was an excellent lawyer. In court, John used his brilliant defense skills and his powerful connections to shift the blame entirely onto the old lady. In the end, he was let off without punishment. Afterward, he walked out of the courthouse in a good mood. Just as he was about to head home to celebrate, an old man approached him. He touched John's face. And that moment marked the beginning of John's misfortune. The next day, he weighed himself as usual, but this time he had mysteriously lost several pounds. He immediately told his wife the good news. His wife was equally shocked by the sudden surprise. To celebrate the small success of his weight loss plan, John invited the judge and sheriff to play golf together. During the game, he jokingly patted his big butt and said, "If that old lady had my build, she wouldn't have gone to meet God." After the game, John intended to show his friends his weight data. But to his surprise, just after one morning, he had lost another 2 pounds. John suddenly felt disoriented. But strange things weren't happening to him alone. While showering with the judge, he learned that a few days ago, the old man had also touched him. Afterward, the spot where the old man touched him began to rot. At this point, neither of them realized that something was wrong, until his weight kept dropping drastically every day. His wife wanted him to stop trying to lose weight, but John insisted that he had never deliberately tried to control his weight. In fact, he was eating more than ever now. Looking at the weight data on her husband's computer, his wife began to feel increasingly uneasy. John had lost a full 40 pounds in just 2 weeks. For safety's sake, she arranged for him to get a physical checkup. But what was even stranger was that after the checkup, John's health indicators were perfectly fine. In fact, he was even healthier than the doctor expected. After confirming that there was nothing wrong with his health, John went to a clothing store to have custom clothes made. The store owner was shocked when he saw John for the first time, because he clearly remembered what John had looked like just half a month ago. After the owner reported John's waist measurement, even John himself couldn't believe it. His weight had dropped to almost 230 pounds. The store owner, also concerned about his own figure, was very curious about how John had lost the weight. The owner's question made John suddenly think of that strange old man. To confirm his suspicions, that night John knocked on the sheriff's door. What he saw was the sheriff, looking strange with stiff limbs. Even his face was covered in disgusting lumps, and all of this was due to John's actions.